Welcome to Let Freedom Ring. My guest this week, Robby Bouchard. Robby, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, pleasure to have you. We want to get to know you just a little bit. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
I'm from Manchester. I grew up a little bit all over the place. I grew up in southern Mass until probably about 5th grade, and I moved up to New Hampshire. I've lived in Manchester ever since. Manchester, that's where I call home, Manchester. For the most part, yeah.
Now, did I see, because I've seen on Facebook, you went to West?
Yep.
How was going to West High School?
It had its ups and downs, but a lot of ups. I mean, I loved it. West is best. That's my home. I played sports there. I went to middle school on the west side, and that's pretty much when I moved there. But yeah, so where I met my wife.
Yeah. Were you guys high school sweethearts?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We started dating when she was a senior and I was a junior. So.
Oh, so she was robbing the cradle a little bit.
Older. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Awesome. Now, what are 3 things that everybody should know about you?
I would say I love my family. I love being a husband and a dad. I love making people laugh. And I love building things with my hands. I love working with my hands. I'm very creative when it comes to that stuff.
Is that what you do for 9 to 5?
Yep. Yeah, I do construction 9 to 5. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, what's the most challenging part of being a dad? I know your son's, he's very young still. My brother just had a baby. Mm-hmm. Kevin, we play softball with, just had a baby. What's the hardest part about being a dad at this stage in the game?
This stage, patience. It's just the patience aspect of it. I mean, he's 2.5 now, so he wants to be his own person. He's learning that he doesn't have to do things if he doesn't really want to, which is the worst part.
I want them to know that.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I mean, dinner, it depends. If he wants to eat, he'll eat. If he doesn't, he'll just go sit on the couch. His biggest saying is I'm all set, which is ridiculous. He definitely got that from me.
Yeah.
For sure.
What's the most rewarding part?
Seeing the smile on his face. It's awesome when he's having a good day, when he's actually happy. It's the best part. It's the best feeling ever. Watching him grow and reliving my childhood through him, for sure.
Oh, awesome. All right. Well, sticking with the theme of the show, which is Let Freedom Ring, we ask everybody this. This is the loaded $1 million question that we ask. What does it mean to you to be an American?
To be an American for me is, it's not to put the title in the question, but it's about freedom. It's being able to do the things that we can. I mean, even just having a baby. Some places, it's like there's so many different rules, and everywhere is different, but here, it's really the only place I've been. I don't know if it seems easy to me, but it's everyone starts off different, but you can all end at the same spot if you really want to, and if that's how. There's no limit. You know what I mean? You can go wherever you want. I grew up poor and didn't have it all, and now I never thought I'd own a home, and me and Amanda own a home now, and whatever you put your mind to, you can actually achieve. And I think that's the best part about being an American.
Awesome. No, I love that answer. There is a lot of opportunity, and I think you said something right, that we all start at different spots.
Yeah.
Right? Some people start on third base.
Yeah.
Some people start throwing, Cracker Jacks in the bleachers.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's all part of it, but you're right. There is opportunity here.
Yeah.
And I want to get into this a little bit. We play softball together.
Yep.
We love talking about softball on the show.
I love softball.
We want to get into your softball career a little bit. Now, we touched on this before, but you played sports in high school. What were the sports that you played again?
I played baseball and football. That was it. I played high school football all the way. That's when I started. I was too heavy to be able to play any Pop Warner or anything like that, so I didn't start actually playing football until I was a freshman in high school.
Okay.
I'd like to say I played all 4 years, but grades kind of got in the way of one of those. But
okay. Yeah.
But I played 3 out of the 4, and baseball, I played all 4 years and made it to varsity on both.
Now, was baseball something in like your family that you just started with? Like, how'd you get into baseball to start?
I've played baseball since I was t-ball age all the way up. I mean, I played even after high school. I played in the Palomino League, which goes until like 19.
Okay.
It's a part of the Pony and Colt League, and that goes Palomino, which is, I think it's 17, 18, and 19-year-olds, so you can play even a little bit after high school if you want to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, it's mostly all the same guys and stuff. They play at the Dairy Field.
Okay.
At least they did. I don't know if the league is still.
Is a lot of people
going
like
on.
in the city, or is it?
Yeah. It's that's how, I mean, that's one of the best ways to meet a lot of the different high school people. I mean, you don't really communicate with Memorial or Central, but just playing baseball in the city, you get to meet those other people. You'd be on the same team with people from Central, people from Memorial, even people from Trinity for the most part.
Nice. Now,
Yeah.
what did they have? So I grew up in Nashua. Is it Little League in Manchester or Cal Ripken?
There's Little League.
Okay.
I believe I think there might have been Cal Ripken over near Youngsville, across from the Massabesic. I think that was a Cal Ripken league over there. But there's a bunch of different little leagues. It's all the way, every point, northwest, south, southwest. There's a few of them.
Yeah, because when I was a kid, it was Bambino, and then it got bought out by Cal Ripken. But I thought Little League and Bambino when I was a kid were the same thing.
Oh.
And then I'd watch the Little League World Series and be like, wait, this, like I'd watch it on
Yeah.
TV, like, wait, this is different than what we do.
Yeah.
Was it Senior Babe Ruth then, or
There's Babe Ruth, and then there's Babe Ruth, there's Legion, and there's also the Pony and Colt League, which is kind of like, I mean, I wasn't, say, good enough or my dad didn't think I was good enough to play in the Babe Ruth. So we ended up going to the Pony Colt, which is a little more inner city, but still about the same talent level, you know what I mean? We, in the Colt League, I think, and in Pony, we actually traveled for the All-Star teams. We were the first Colt team in like 10 or 15 years to make it to like the regionals outside of Manchester. We went all the way down to New Jersey. Got our butts whooped, but but it's the experience.
Hey, you made
It's worth it. Yeah, got New Jerseys, you know. It was cool.
No, very cool. Now, I got to ask this. So, playing sports in high school, you played baseball all these years. How does one get into slow pitch softball?
That would be Amanda's fault.
Okay.
My wife. Her dad has always played slow pitch softball.
Former
as far
guest.
as I've known him.
Yeah.
Zeke. And he one year asked if we wanted to play in the Merrimack, I think it was the church league.
Okay.
I'm not sure on that. We played behind the high school a lot. And that was the first time I ever played it. And I mean, the amount of times I struck out in that league transferring from baseball was ridiculous. But it was fun. And we didn't play for a few years after that. And then a person we went to high school with, Josh LaFerrier, asked Amanda, of course, she gets asked before me on all the teams. They asked her if she wanted to play, and then out of what I call pity, they asked me if I wanted to play too. And that's how I got in. That was probably 6 or 7 years ago. That was for Salona, the team that we play for in the Pinnacle League.
So at this point, you guys are probably like early 20s, mid 20s?
When we got into it?
Yeah.
Yep. We were, around, I'd say like 23, 24-ish, something like that.
Now, did Amanda play softball in high school?
Yep. She played softball in high school. She played actually at UNH, the softball team up there. So she played all through college and everything. And then once she missed it. I don't even know if she really took a year off after college. Really? She might have just went right into it, but she's always played sports.
Well, the nice thing about slow pitch is you can just kind of ease in and just have a good time without the pressure of
sure,
of a college team or high school team.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, what do you enjoy most about playing the game? Like, because now you've been around for a couple of years. What's some of your favorite parts about it?
I would say the camaraderie, being around people, you know what I mean? Being able to, as me and Amanda being parents, you know what I mean? We have our regular friends of civilian life, I want to call it. And then we have our softball friends, and that's really the only time. I mean, we don't get much time to hang out with our normal friends in regular life. We'll get together weekends here and there, but it's a good chance for us to take a break from being parents, and not too much of a break, because obviously he's only 2.5, so we got to really can't just let him go without putting a leash on him. But yeah, the camaraderie for sure. I like just being around people, hanging out, even that's the best part about the pickup. It's just hanging out with people, you know what I mean? No pressure, we're not there to do anything other than have fun, you know what I mean? No pressure.
No, I like that. It's like getting out and having a good time. And parents deserve some time off too.
For sure. When you can get it.
When you can.
Yeah.
I got to ask this. What are some of the, like, now that you've been playing for a few years, what are some of your favorite moments that you've had playing?
I mean, unfortunately, we haven't really won much, but when we do win, that's obviously fun. Those are the good moments. We did make a pretty decent run in the fall playoffs a few years ago.
Didn't Salona win at one point, though? Or was it second?
Not when I was there. We did come in second. That was the year that we, a few years ago in fall, we made a really big run in the playoffs. We came all the way from last place.
Oh, wow.
Went all the way up to second in the playoffs, and we had a Halloween party that night, and the game was the next morning. So we didn't.
That's never the.
We didn't do too hot.
It's never the best
day.
idea.
Yeah.
But it's Halloween,
Yeah. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. But yeah, that was a good moment. It doesn't feel like it doesn't happen as often as I'd like now, but every time I hit a home run, I love that feeling. There's nothing better.
It's nice not have to run.
Yeah, that's the best part. Especially now if you're in a league where you don't have to touch the bag, you just hit it and see you later.
That's it.
Give the old nod.
I know, I miss those days. I've hit maybe 2 home runs since I tore my rotator cuff.
Yeah.
And I obviously don't swing a 30-ounce bat anymore. So I used to get up and be like, just smoke the ball and be like, yeah, I don't have to run or anything. But now it's like, I got to slap the ball. I got to get on for a single or a double.
Yeah.
It's actually, what was it, 4 years ago the other day that I actually tore it. And it's just never the same.
No, definitely not.
I want to talk about this a little bit because there was a lot of controversy. And we don't want to use names or anything like that just to protect a league that I have a lot of respect for, and I want that to be clear.
I also.
Pinnacle had some issues in the playoffs.
Yes.
And we had a game that got heated, but other things got heated. A lot of things just went on this day. And again, we're not going to use names. What was your kind of feeling like? What was happening that day? Like there was a weird vibe.
There definitely was a weird vibe. Again, without using names, I don't want to point all the fingers at that umpire, but it definitely it all stemmed from him. There was a common denominator in all the events that happened that day. As I've said the past couple weeks, it's not the bad calls that we got upset about. It was just the unprofessionalism. It seemed intentional. It seemed biased. It seemed aimed towards us at that time. I had said to somebody, I think it might have been you or other people, but it's when you show up to the field, you want to feel like you're playing the other team and not the umpire.
Yeah.
You're not. And when we're playing against each other, our teams were having a great time. The only time that people were getting upset was at that individual.
Certain calls,
And it was just, it's unfortunate that it happened again, and I've apologized for everything that I had a part in to both the presidents of Pinnacle, and I feel like it's been somewhat resolved, definitely, at least. I mean, obviously there's going to be a lot of time off before we get back in the spring, so
which that's kind of a good thing.
People
in a
cool
way.
off and stuff. At least it didn't happen in the middle of the season and stuff like that. We weren't the worst thing to happen that day. for sure, and
Yeah,
definitely.
and I didn't think there was a lot to blame. I have noticed something over the years that I've been playing, and I've said this on the show before. There is a difference between ASA or USA umpires and U-Trip umpires. I do feel like the ASA, it's USA now.
It's USA
I'm sorry.
now, but
well, we
yeah.
weren't really. We were using two different things though in that
Yeah.
league, which kind of causes issues too. Which
Definitely.
I love Pinnacle and the people that run it.
Yeah.
I think we got to pick a brand.
It was a big switch up at the beginning of this fall season, and I think every game there seemed to be issues with umpires, not necessarily negative issues, but even the amount of time I think Amanda had to tell an umpire a couple times that the plate wasn't a strike anymore, and they'd call it for an inning or two, and then be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot," and just there's a lot of rule changes, and I feel like there wasn't maybe a meeting or something. I don't. Seemed like there was texts that went out and whatnot, or messages, I'm sure, to inform people. But when you've been doing something for so long a certain way, it's hard to switch it, and I understand that. Difficulty, just.
Oh, I think that this was the one thing that, and the heart was in the right place. I have a lot of respect for both Matt and Aaron. I couldn't even speak more highly. When you try to mix two of the same rules together, we can do it in pickup.
Yeah.
We can do it in pickup, but when you do have competitive teams and you're hitting different balls than they're used to, you're mixing rules, you're using you can't. USA and U-Trip are two different things, and they should stay two different things,
yes,
in my opinion.
I agree.
So when you start mixing the two, things get very confusing. And then when you bring in umpires that now, the umpire that people had an issue with, I don't particularly have an issue with, but I understand where people are coming from. He is dual certified.
Yes.
But you also had other umpires that were not.
Yeah.
So it's like they're used to umpiring USA games, and now you're saying, well, we're going to mix the two together. I know that softball is softball.
It's just a game.
But it does get confused. It could be, if it's confusing to them, it's going to be confusing to the players.
For sure. Yeah.
So I hate to see kind of what went on that day. Obviously, it was just a tough
Exactly.
Tough
yeah, and a tough day, especially for something that's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
And everyone's there. Yes, it is just a game, but everyone's there to compete, and it is the playoffs, and we're trying to win. Everyone wants to win, whether you win or lose. It's just a game.
I want that plastic trophy at the end of the day.
I want to hold it up. I've never been to held it up yet. I got to hold up the Kruger one. And
there you go. But no, I have a lot of fun in the Pinnacle League, and it was just one of those. It was just, like I said, it started off with a weird vibe, and the day just kind of kept going that way.
Yeah.
But much respect. I understand people running the leagues, they're working their asses off.
Oh, for sure.
The umpires are, even if they're having a bad day. I guess I would say to most umpires, just be careful what you let out.
Yeah, definitely. It is just a game, and everyone does a lot for that league, and everyone does. We thank them for that, for sure, because at the end of the day, that is my home league. I call it. That's the only league I've ever really played in, and I'd like to keep playing there at least. I think. I love Salona. I love playing for Salona, and if anybody else wants to give me almond joys, I'll play for your team. But for now, I'm stuck on Salona.
Now, do you have any kind of bias between playoff style? Because in Nashua, like the leagues we play in Nashua, we always do.
They do multiple days, right?
We're doing multiple weeks. We're doing series style play. Mm-hmm. Pinnacle uses the playoff style play, which
is like tournament.
Which I'm just not. I did like what they did this year. Where you had the two fields and you got to win your field. Okay, which I'm cool with. I'm still a big fan of the series style. Like, is there a preference that you have if you're in a league, like how you want the season to end?
I've always done it this way just because that's how they've always done it. But it would be nice. Sometimes it's tough, especially where in the summer we play nights during the week, and then you got one day you're waking up at 8 a.m. on a weekend and going to play. And sometimes those games can be tough for people. But I would prefer in the fall. It's nice to do it this way because, like you said, it's
They're
not
limited
great.
time.
There's time limits. There's restrictions, and you gotta kind of get the games going. That's why he does the even and the odd, the 2 fields, that's the best setup I can think of for the fall for sure.
I thought that was really cool when I showed up because I played in it before, where you're jumping from field to field.
Yeah.
In a league, because you put so much time into a league, like it's like you want to. I don't want to be jumping around field to field in the playoffs.
It can be confusing too, and it's just taking cleats off, putting them on, driving with cleats on.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but
either way, honestly, that was it. Like we said, it was a weird day, but I applaud everything that Aaron's done over the years. He's a
definitely
model guy, and I think Maddie is going to keep bringing it up. I think they're bringing Josh into the fold too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good minds that are in there. So.
Definitely, yeah.
And bad days happen. They've happened in Nashville.
Everyone has bad days.
So
everyone has bad days.
Want to get into the fan questions? We did have a late one come up, so I got to pull it up on my phone here. A lot of talk about never being able to live something down here.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into it, as we've said. Zeke, Mark Zedon, right?
Mark Zedon, yeah.
Who guys like he's been around. He's a veteran.
Yeah.
He's a I guess a softball goat almost.
Yeah, an OG.
He's an OG.
Bates said.
But he's your father-in-law, and people want to know. Mm-hmm. From Kevin Lumbaum. Kevin, if I said it wrong, because he's told me so many times how to say it, and I mess it up every time. How does it feel that your father-in-law threw you out throwing off half of a foot?
Not great, but I guess the saying goes, even a broke clock is right twice a day or something like that. No, I'm just kidding. Mark he's a great player. Even at his age, he's even with his disability, if you want to call it. I mean,
he said it on the show, so we can say he had his foot chopped off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rough. But I always forget. He's still the same athletic guy that I've always known and stuff. And he still can play just as good as he used to, which it showed on that play. I hit it in between third and short, and he laid out for it and snapped up, and I'm not as fast as I used to be.
Yeah.
He gunned me out. No hesitation. I mean, I might have been safe. There was no umpire to prove it, so
we do have it. Well, actually, we do have film, but you can't see first base.
Yeah, you can see him lay out and everything like that. I had to show him the video, and he wanted me to save it and send it to him. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, it doesn't feel great. It's not the best feeling.
Because Pat Connolly even said, "Ouch," on the comments.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of ribbing going on. We got a few more questions on this. I got to ask though, now that we're talking about Zeke, because now I've known Zeke for a good amount of time. He's one of the nicest guys you can meet.
Oh yeah.
So you're dating his daughter in high school?
Yep.
Is Zeke one of those dads that's like, did you come in? Did he give you one of these? Did he give you you better not mess with my daughter? Or?
I think he might have given me a little bit of both. I mean, it was a while ago. He was my football coach at one point at West, and he's always been nice. He never really tried to intimidate me as much as I think. I think her brother actually might have tried to intimidate me more. He's younger, so it didn't work. He's also very small. Yeah. So it definitely didn't work. But he did. Her brother, I'll never forget this story. The first time I ate dinner at their house, we sat down and I started to eat, and her brother lost his mind and was like, "We didn't say grace," and I got so I was like, I'm so sorry. And Amanda was like, "We've never said grace, Tad. We don't." And he started dying laughing. He thought it was the funniest thing ever. He always used to try and mess with me, but Zeke is never, for the most part. Okay. Yeah.
You're always curious because like you said, you were high school sweethearts, and you always get that vision of the dad when their daughters start to date, whether it's middle school or high school. That's always the hard ass.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think as you get older, they're like, all right, they got to meet somebody.
Yeah, exactly. No, I actually did the old fashioned. I went to his house after and asked him to marry him or marry her. I basically married him too, but yeah, and he loved that. He was very honored to say yes to that, obviously.
That's awesome.
Or else I probably wouldn't be talking to him as much anymore. I probably still would have done it. Sorry, Zeke. But or Grampy, I should say now. He's actually watching Bo right now for me. So
again, we got a couple more about him. We love Zeke, so tell him I said go home. Jen Spelios. I know I nailed it that time. Because I've said like Spelios.
That's a tough one.
Jen, if you're watching, when you do watch this, in the comments, if I said it wrong, let me know. She says go home. Is this something that she says to you a lot?
It's yeah, she's been saying it ever since I started at Pickup. There was one night we stayed for a little while after. It was, I think the lights might have went off.
Okay.
You know what time they go off over there, but she just kept yelling. I kept talking, and she just kept yelling, Robby, go home. She kept saying, you have your wife waiting at home. Amanda loves when I'm not sleeping there because I snore, so she was getting all the extra Z's she could.
Yeah.
But Jen just kept trying to get me to go home, and it kind of stuck after that. It's funny. I like it. But
that's just Jen.
Just an inside joke.
We deal with her.
Yeah.
We have no choice.
Oh, we definitely do.
Did you go and watch a lot of the women's games at all, or because I know they all play together?
I try to get down there sometimes. Sometimes the games are a little bit later, and I'm always watching Bo usually while she's playing. So, but I'll bring them down every once in a while for a game and stuff. I'll grab some ice cream at King Cone and swing down there. Can't go wrong with that.
Big one too. The big one, you get the giant ice creams if they're ever at Greeley Park.
Yeah.
It's little childhood favorite place.
Okay, all right.
I didn't go to King Cone until I was like in my 20s.
Really, I never went either. But Amanda and Mark always brought them there as kids and stuff. So we go there now, and I can't think of the other place's name, but every time someone says it, I'm like, we're a King Cone family. We don't go to that other place down the street.
Yeah. Maddie's or me? I can't think of it.
The one in the plaza, I can't think of.
Oh, Hayward's.
Hayward's, yeah. Hayward's. Every time they say
Hayward's was like a southern Nashua thing, and now they have multiple locations. And that one actually is open like in the winter too.
Yeah.
So you'll see like a long line, like it's January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better in the summer.
Absolutely. Richard Bates, he wants to know, and again, we're going back to this. Feel bad. Oh, actually, his question's a little bit different.
It's slightly different.
Feel bad yet for giving your father-in-law a grandchild timeout for snapping you off at third like an OG?
No, I never really. I mean, obviously, I didn't mean it. It was it's the only thing I got against him at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, he threw me out, and I said, if you think you're seeing your grandchild after that one, you're dead wrong. And Batesy actually yelled at me. He said, you can't use that against him. That's the only thing we got. But everyone laughed, of course. Everyone said Amanda would have made it there. I got thrown out. Amanda would have made it. I've heard it all. And I'm sure it's not the last time I'll hear of it either.
This joke is it's going to last at least till the end of 2022.
Oh, for sure.
I think we're sure on
Definitely.
that. All right, last one from Mark Zedon. Now he wants to know, tell us about your father-in-law threw you out. And he put kissy faces on this post.
A little winky. Yeah, I mean, I had already said it about it, how he did it.
It was surprising though, because I didn't know I've never seen him dive like that.
Yeah, I think it was he really wanted that one.
Yeah.
I think it was everybody else he would have let the ball go, but because it was me, he's like, I got to get this.
Yeah.
And I looked up and I saw it was him at third and it was Jeff Kelly at shortstop. And no offense to either, but
thinking I got a
older
spot.
guys, I'm like, they ain't getting this in between. And
Yeah.
Jeff didn't make a move for it, but Mark, you saw the vengeance in his eyes. He's like, I need to make this play.
It was a fun night, and I mean, you guys won the series.
Yep.
You swept us, so you're always going to have that over him.
Yeah,
You know.
for sure.
I got to ask this. I didn't have this on the original agenda, but I want to ask you a question on this because I kind of got into it with Brittany today. Mm-hmm. Daylight savings time. How do you feel about it? We're setting the clocks back on Sunday. I personally, as someone that I battle with seasonal depression pretty bad.
Yeah.
There's been times where I had to not film the show because of seasonal depression.
Yeah.
That 1 extra hour of light would help me. You
Yeah.
know, even that. How do you think it's like time that we move on?
I mean, yes and no. At this point, I feel. I mean, Arizona doesn't do it. I don't understand how they don't.
They get away with it. You know,
It doesn't make any sense. I don't know how the deliveries aren't messed up. I don't know what we'd do if we had it regularly. But I don't think we need it. We don't. I understand why we have it for the farmers and stuff like that, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of the farming stuff is mostly automated at this point. I mean, they have headlights. I don't know why they don't. They can just use them. I don't.
This is going back to World War I. Then they got rid of it for a little bit, and then they brought it back in World War II. Yeah. And we're still here dealing with it. Like I hate to say this, but I work till about 4:30 every day, right? Mm-hmm. I want to get out. It's going to start getting dark at 5. I have maybe a half an hour. I would love to just like chill and like it still be light out, you know?
Yeah. It's the best part about summer. It feels like the sun never goes down. At some point, it's like 9:30. It's still bright out. You're like, wintertime, it's like you said, 5:30. We're like, oh my God. I
it's
turn
dark.
my headlights on. I got to.
It's dark. I've been
grilling in the dark.
Yeah, you know. So I am for the change. I know that it was on the table, and even a politician that I'm not a big fan of, Marco Rubio, senator from Florida, was all about it. And I don't know what happened. I was like, are we finally going to get out of this?
I thought they went through with it, but maybe that was just I don't watch the news as much as I probably should.
It kind of like this. The whole thing died, and I didn't really think about it till I was like on Facebook today and go, oh my God, it is this weekend.
Yeah, that's the best part is my phone just does it automatically, so I don't know. I just feel tired if I wake up and it's later or earlier or however it is. Amanda's grandmother always messages everybody too, though, so
to remind them.
Yeah, literally, she's like our alarm clock for daylight savings time.
Well, the crazy thing is I literally do everything on this. I don't own an alarm clock anymore.
I'm the same way.
That phone dies, I'm gone. I'm off the radar. No one knows. So now I was just curious about that. And again, I was going back and forth with Brittany today because I posted some. I took it down because I was like, you know what, I'm not going to open this up to the peanut gallery. Yeah. And I started arguing with her on Messenger. Yeah. And she's like, well, why should everybody have to change just because people like you? I'm like, calm down. I was like, you don't want more light during the day? Yeah. Are you really up at 5 a.m.? I doubt it. No. You know, so. Didn't
realize she held such a strong grudge with
I think she just likes to come at me.
I think she just likes arguing with you.
Yeah, I think that's it. I got to ask this. Okay. You're a Patriots fan. I know your father-in-law's a Bears fan, even though he's from Manchester.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
He just kind of picked them. How do you feel about the state of the New England Patriots right now? Are you concerned? I mean, we're not winning the Super Bowl.
No, definitely not. But 4-4 right now. It's not too bad. Could be better. Obviously, Mac Jones going down wasn't the greatest outcome, but it showed us Zappy and showed us that we at least have something else that can happen. You know what I mean? There was times there where Brady was playing and we had Garoppolo and we weren't really even sure if he could play. And it's nice to know that you have two options there. I think they're going to be all right. I think in Bill we trust, and just. It'll work itself out.
Does it get harder? And now he just became the second all-time winningest coach. Mm-hmm. I was there against the Bears when the crowd was going nuts for Zappy. Yeah. I mean, I haven't been to the biggest games they've had, but that was probably the loudest ovation I had heard at Gillette Stadium for the games that I've been to. I mean, Zappy, Zappy. Did Belichick pander to the crowd that night? Now, Zappy was good for the first 2 drives. I mean, his first 5 minutes of the game, he scored 2 touchdowns. Yeah. The rest of the game, not good. Did he pander to the crowd, or you think does that kill Mac's confidence? I
don't know. I mean, I felt me and my friend were talking, and we actually talked about how I didn't think that Belichick would have done that. He seems like the kind of guy who his decision is his decision. They're going to stick it out. So I was very shocked when they actually put him in. But I think if they might have started Zappy that game, it might have been a different outcome.
Which I thought they should have, easing Mac back in, you know?
Exactly, yeah. And maybe put Mac in at the end if we were back up, you know what I mean? Give him a few touches, let him get the feel of things again. He was out for, 2-3 games?
Yeah,
3 games?
a couple games, yeah. Yeah, he came out in the Packers game, I believe.
Yeah, so halfway through that, and then Zappy played great
almost
against them, almost won that game.
I don't think Zappy's lost as a starter yet.
No, he won against the Lions, and then he won against the Browns, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think he was pandering to the crowd. I think he realized, maybe give him a chance. I don't think maybe Mac was fully, or maybe Mac said something to him where I'm just not in it.
See, worry because they are both young players, and they're not. That could get, I want to see the development of Mac Jones and Zappy. But Mac was I know he wasn't the number one overall pick, but he was our number one draft pick that we had that year. It's like, I don't want to give up on this kid, and I don't want to see his confidence get smashed either.
Yeah, for sure. That's the confidence is the biggest issue at that age of like you said, they're both young. And that's kind of what I felt like happened to Zappy in that Browns game, not Browns game, the Bears game also. It was like, we're going to go with Mac, which kind of Zappy, you got to be thinking he just won the last 2 starts he had. Now they're going to go instantly back, but then they say, no, go out there. You can do it. And he did play good.
He
but
throws for 3 yards, and the crowd or 3 yards. It might have been more. And the crowd erupts, and I go, oh, yeah, Mac can do that too.
Take it down. Yeah.
It was
the internet's a hell of a thing.
Very interesting. Yeah. Do you have favorite sports moments? We've seen so many, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, obviously all the Patriots Super Bowls. The 04 World Series was still one of the best baseball moments I've ever seen in my entire life. I have all the newspaper clippings of that.
Yeah. Mine's in my parents' attic somewhere.
I think I was in middle school at the time, and I had a broken foot, so I was kind of couch bound at the time, and I watched all the games. I was fully into it. I had my birthday's in October. I had a baseball cake for that series and everything. Yeah. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was awesome.
No, that was obviously my favorite sports moment was them winning.
Yeah.
I was 20 at the time. And I even thought then, I was like, man, because like growing up it was like, oh, the Red Sox stink, blah, blah, blah. And, and then we had 99 where I was like, oh, we don't stink all that bad now that we got Pedro, and we still didn't get out of that. I don't think 2000 was anything great. 2001, 2002, 3, now we're back. We lose.
Started coming up.
04 was like, it's funny because now that I'm 38, I look back and I was like, man, 20, I thought I was so old. Yeah. And then looking back, I go, man, I was really young to see that.
To be able to see that.
Like, I didn't suffer that long.
Oh, even I was young. Like I said, that was really the first time that I watched baseball and fully understood it as a young child. And even the I think it was the Patriots Super Bowl was it 01?
Yeah, 02 they won, but it was 01 season.
01 season. I don't really remember that. I mean, I didn't understand, like I said, I didn't play football until I was a freshman, so I didn't fully understand the rules and everything until you actually start playing it. You comprehend it a little bit better. So those first couple Super Bowls with Brady, they didn't really mean much as they did recently.
No, that was obviously I grabbed my brothers at the time and we went nuts, and that was the thing though. Like I played football. I started playing in '99. I didn't play very long because I was always about wrestling or whatever. But so I kind of knew the game. But I can say when I was in elementary school and the Patriots in the Super Bowl, like I was into it, but like you're right, I didn't understand everything when Bledsoe was there. I think I was only like 12, and I hadn't played on a team before. Yeah. So that's like once I started playing, I knew the game.
Seems like you only see the touchdowns at a certain point. Like you're watching, and you're like,
when you are that young and you don't get it, you're like, all right, what's something going to happen?
They score and everyone cheers. You're like, yeah, it's cool.
But baseball was so different for me as a kid because that's what I played.
Yep.
So like anytime baseball was on, I knew exactly what was going on. And
Same.
Yeah, sports are fun. That's why I love sports. We've talked a lot about this at the field. How'd you get into horror movies?
So, my dad likes horror movies. He'd always, the first one I ever watched was Jeepers Creepers when my sister was born.
The remakes, the new one's out, I think.
It
soon.
is?
Yeah, Reborn or whatever.
Oh, okay. They have, I think, what was there, 3 before?
Yeah, but the third one's not. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. I bought it. Don't watch it.
I think even the second one wasn't as great as
the first was. Yeah, the bus I enjoy. It was at least a watchable movie. The third one's not watchable.
No, I'll definitely remember not to give it a shot. But yeah, that was the first one I ever watched. I think my sister was being born in the hospital, so my dad was watching us, me and my brother at home, and it's like a Saturday afternoon. He's like, "Here, you guys want to watch this movie?" And I was like, I don't think we're old enough to watch this movie yet, but we watched it, and it's always cool to be, a little frightened and stuff.
No, it was great. I mean, obviously, so Victor Salvo was the director. They've completely moved away. You know the whole story about him. He's not a good guy.
Yeah.
Did some really bad stuff. Yeah. So this whole thing is like almost like a rebrand because everybody always brings it back.
Movie, yeah.
I hate to say it, like I know what the guy did. It's still, I love Jeepers Creepers. It's in my collection of movies. But they wanted to do something new and move away from that. It's this whole. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Do you have a top 5 favorite horror movies?
I mean, obviously, just from the nostalgia point, Jeepers Creepers is on there. I would say The Conjuring. I love that.
Ooh, okay.
The Strangers is my number one. I've never been as scared in
Pretty
my
terrifying.
Entire life.
Whole terrifying idea. Yeah.
The realness of it is just so creepy. I love the Evil Dead movies, the old ones. My dad used to love those with even the Army of Darkness. That's a great, like it's more funny horror than, it's not really horror, but.
So I got into those like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They do the first one. And then the second one is the same actor but has nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
that was confusing.
Yeah, it was like they kind of went like cult classic after the first one. The first one's kind of it's a scary horror movie. Then the second one is just like they go way too funny. He's a comedian actor and stuff. They even have they have a series of it now too. I think it's called like Ash versus Evil or something like that, where it's he does like he's older and he's working back at the supermarket and they come back and they need him to save the day again and all this crazy stuff. But I've always loved those ones. I think, is that 4 or 5?
That's 4.
Oh boy. I had it written down too, and I totally can't think of it. I don't know.
Halloween's not in that top 5?
Yeah, I mean, the Halloween.
I'm biased.
I think of of Halloween, Friday the 13th, and like the Freddy's, all
franchise.
Yeah, I kind of think of them all in like the same. Like, to me, they're great movies. Obviously, they're classics. But I can't. There's so many. Sometimes I'm like, I can't sit down and watch. Especially now, I love horror movies. Amanda does not. We can't watch horror movies at my house. If I'm watching it, I'm watching it alone.
Yeah.
We watched Insidious probably like the first couple years we dated, and she cried. And she made me turn on all the lights in the house that we were in. Literally every light in the house. Sorry that I'm telling this on TV, babe. And yeah, she can't do it. She'll every once in a while she'll be like, "What do you want to watch?" I'm like, "I'm pulling out the card. We're gonna watch a scary one."
Yeah.
And then it never is. She'll fall asleep. She puts herself to sleep somehow. I don't know.
Well, I could ask this then. Maybe she's into this. Comedy movies, top 5.
Oh, see, this one's easy. I could go on for days. Tommy Boy.
Yes.
Superbad. I love Superbad. Me and my best friend used to watch that movie.
It's the fastest good alive.
Me and my friend used to watch that movie every day, like in high school. It was Happy Gilmore or anything from Billy Madison, Sandler. Obviously, The Waterboy is a great one. What else do we got? A little controversial on this one, but Blazing Saddles. It's a really older movie.
I've heard it. Yeah, I know this movie.
Very, very funny. I love like the older movies, the ones that my dad was like you got to see this. This is very fun. He showed me Hear No Evil, See No Evil for the first time. Have you ever heard of that one with Gene Wilder?
Yeah, Gene
Richard
Wilder.
Pryor?
I've never seen it, but I know of it.
So one of them's blind and one of them's deaf, and they somehow converge in like the New York City streets, and
two genius comedy guys.
The funniest thing you could ever imagine. The Hangover movies, I love those movies. The Jackass movies, I've never laughed as hard as I can. I just love watching those guys get hurt.
It's disgusting. The fart tube made me like cry laughing when he just like starts throwing up in the mask. Like,
it's all...
These guys are out of their minds.
They are, without a doubt.
Let me ask this. Do you have a top 5 pickup softball players right now?
Ooh.
If you were drafting.
I mean, if there's obviously great players that play. I mean, as much crap as I talked this past series, Greg Kelly is obviously a great player. Schultze. Who else we got? Jose. He only played a couple games for us, but he was a great player to watch. Mason is a great player.
I think Mason, because I'm going to ask you this after, but I think he's like the up and comer.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's only, what is he? I think they said 20. He's
20, yeah.
He's a great player. I'll throw a girl in there too. I mean, Mel's a great player to watch play. Even in pickup, Hannah's been doing a lot recently.
Hannah's been hitting really well.
She's been playing great in pickup. Even in the tournaments and everything, she was playing really great. That's 5, right? 5 or 6.
Who are the players to watch? I know we said Mason, obviously.
Yeah.
He's definitely someone to watch. Anybody else that you think people gotta keep an eye on? They're gonna be.
As an up and comer, I mean, there's just as players in general. I mean, Gio's older, but he's a great player. I know him. He told me to give him a shout out.
Oh, did he?
Gio.
Gio gave himself a shout out.
Yeah, of course he did. We call him Tio Bezos at where we're
two-time guest.
Hang out.
Well,
yeah, I saw his episodes. They're great. He's great, of course. I love watching. I think it's Silas.
Silas
play. He's a great player. Great player.
Good lefty.
I don't really know him too well, but great player to watch.
He came out of nowhere. He literally came out of nowhere.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. When I saw him on the field the first time on Friday, he was playing second, and I've only seen girls play second.
Yeah.
Usually. And he has long hair, and he was wearing a mask, and I was like, "Who's that girl?" And then he took his mask off, and I was like, "That's not a girl."
Yeah. There's not a lot of people with long hair though.
Like he's very
got his own
long,
look to him.
luxurious blonde hair for sure. Yeah. He looks like he'd talk with like a Norwegian accent or something.
See, I always think of him as like, remember the Titans, Sunshine.
Yeah, Sunshine.
Yeah, that was the first time I saw him. That's what I thought of.
Yeah. No, he's a great player. On Salona, Jared Kameyer's a great player. His dad played. He's a younger guy for the most part. I'm trying to think of like other younger players. I haven't seen him. I think he got hurt, but Matt Parameter's son.
Yeah, I haven't seen him play.
I haven't seen him play this season.
Has played. Maybe he is hurt.
He's been great. I mean, when I've seen him play, he plays great. Guy hits bombs. Obviously, Josh Lee is I don't know how young he is, but
no, Josh
younger
like 23.
than me. Yeah.
Or 22. Maybe.
I don't understand how he mashes the ball the way he does. It's crazy.
He found something he really enjoys. You know?
He hits bombs. Some of the farthest I've ever seen, and he's not that big of a guy either. It's just athletic.
He must. I don't know much about his baseball career, but yeah, Josh he's doing a lot. And very proud of him.
For sure.
Want to get into blank versus blank, which is my favorite segment of the show.
Okay. There's
no prep on this. We're gonna give you 2 things. You got to pick one and tell me why.
You got it.
Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi? Right off the bat.
I'm gonna go Mac on that. Said tell you why too.
Yeah, why would you?
Just the experience. I mean, he was our first pick, like you said. He played Alabama.
Yeah, he won a
Yeah.
national championship.
So-
A lot of Alabama quarterbacks, Tua
They're
and
great players.
Jalen Hurts, they're all in
Yeah.
the league. And I hate Alabama.
Not a fan, but they make good players. That's for sure.
Hey, I'll take them.
Yeah, we'll all take them.
Would you rather watch the Celtics or Bruins?
Bruins. I'm not a big basketball fan. I do love hockey. Usually only watch it during playoffs. Playoff hockey, so
It's fun to watch.
it's
I'm not
very
a big
fun to watch. I love watching it.
True story. I've never even been to a Bruins game.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah, 38. I've never been.
Yeah.
So I just never been a diehard. I do enjoy the playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs is awesome.
Would you rather listen to Michael Jackson or Prince?
Ooh, Prince. Not a big fan of Michael Jackson. I don't know.
All right. Better holiday, Halloween or Christmas?
I'd say Christmas. There's no feast involved with Halloween, but I do like sitting down for Christmas dinner.
Okay.
I'm a food guy.
See what I love about Halloween, I think, is just the season so much. I just love the season.
Yeah.
And then and then Halloween is the last day of October, and then you feel like you're like, now it's over. Like I love
Yeah.
October. I just love October. Yeah. Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston?
Ooh, Mariah Carey. Go Mariah Carey. I grew up with her. You know, not listening to her for the most part, but I don't really know many. I think I only know that one Whitney Houston song, the one that everyone
Dance
sings.
to Somebody?
Yeah, that one, and I actually have it on my playlist. But and Mariah Carey, that Christmas song she sings,
She's already promoting it.
Oh,
She knows it's
the
her
only time
season.
she makes money anymore.
It's her
crazy.
season. Yeah. Would you rather have Aaron Judge or Mookie Betts?
Ooh, Mookie Betts. He, just a better athlete, I feel like. Aaron Judge is a great hitter, but I feel like he's, no pun intended, literally hit or miss.
Yeah.
The first couple seasons, he would lead the league in strikeouts, it seemed like. Hit or miss, for sure, but Mookie Betts, great
Fun
player.
to see what he did this year, though, I will say.
It was,
If
yeah.
he comes to the Red Sox, I will applaud it, but I think he'll probably re-sign with the Yankees, but if he doesn't, he's going to the Dodgers.
Yeah, for sure. I don't see him coming to the Red Sox. I don't know.
That's
Those players, you can tell those certain Yankee players that can really hold that grudge.
there is stuff. There are proof of him wearing a Red Sox shirt before he was ever drafted. So.
Okay.
Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock?
Stone Cold. I like The Rock when he was wrestling. I'm not a fan of this
I don't like his
movie
movies.
career there.
There's not a Rock movie I can tell you that I enjoy.
It's a joke between all my friends. You actually walked into Salona and there was a huge Rock layer, Dwayne cutout for promoting Terramana, and I was like, you got to get this thing out of here. I was like, I'm not coming back in here until this is gone. He's everywhere, and I don't know.
I don't enjoy his
Doesn't
movies.
seem real.
I don't enjoy his movies. Happy he's bringing back the XFL. His daughter made her debut in NXT, so a lot of stuff happened for The Rock. And now I think he's on the board at WWE now too. Would you rather listen to country or rap?
Ooh, that's probably the toughest one. I'd say country because I can. It's a little more relaxing, but I do love both a lot.
You got a country shirt on right now? Is that
This is actually a comedy shirt.
okay.
This is Tom Segura. He's my favorite comedian, and
Nice.
he believes that Garth Brooks is a undercover serial killer. So he actually made like a bunch of his gear. This is actually a Garth Brooks shirt.
Okay, that's what I thought it
looks
was.
just like him, but all he did was put his face on him.
Oh,
and,
God.
It's a very funny bit that he's had going for a long time. If you ever watch Garth Brooks's like promotional videos, he seems a little dead inside. It's very funny to watch.
I'll have to check that out. As someone who loves Garth Brooks.
I do too, but it's a very funny bit where you can't help but laugh.
Here's one I love asking because it's two of my favorite candies. Starburst or Skittles?
That's tough. I'd go Skittles. Sometimes they're both very good, but sometimes opening those individual packages on the
It's hard when you're
I
driving.
think that would
hard
have
when
to
you're
be
driving.
that would have to be the deal breaker for me, just dumping the pack of Skittles in my mouth rather than individually opening them.
Here's two 90s rappers that maybe you know, maybe you don't. You probably know who they are.
Okay.
MC Hammer or Vanilla Ice?
I know them both. Ooh, that's a very tough one. I'm gonna go with Vanilla Ice because his name's also Robby or Robert.
Robert, I forget his last name.
I can't think of his last name either, but I did have Ice Ice Baby.
Okay.
It's always
I had
playing.
both of them on a cassette track.
Yeah.
I'm a Hammer guy all the way because I think he had more hits. Toughest one in blank versus blank. Two people that are involved in softball. Jen Spelios or Stephanie Hart?
Oh boy.
We don't put your feet to the fire.
I'm gonna go. Yeah. Really glued my feet to the bus lane here. I'm gonna go Jen. I'll go Jen. She invites me to the teams. Invites me to play and stuff. Steph talks a lot, but she love you, Steph. I'll go Jen. Jen coaches Amanda. She plays. Steph plays too, but if it comes down to doing the book though, Steph all the way. Steph. You gotta go Steph all the way.
No, I don't think anybody else can.
Hands down.
She loves it, but
she does.
Anyways, Robbie, I really appreciate you coming on. It's been a blast. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody out there, keep your heads up. Have a wonderful week, and until next time, let freedom ring. Awesome. That went good.
Sweet.